Hello, my fellow Americans. I'm Steve Saylor, running a new economic system for president in 2020 with the Money-Free Party, which is all about freeing ourselves from the money changers, the central bankers, and the corporate state, which has taken over every aspect of our government and our lives, and which inherently produces all the problems we're facing today. You know the list: growing poverty and inequality, hunger and homelessness, crime, corruption, endless wars, not to mention the environmental crisis, which is now a threat to our very survival. So, is there any way we can solve these problems? No, not from within this economic system. And this is what everyone needs to understand, that all these problems are a direct result of this system. They are inevitable. In this old monopoly game we're still playing, it's what we should expect when we have a world run by bankers and corporations driven by greed, domination, profit at any cost. This is not a healthy way to manage our society. So let's talk about a new system that works to solve these problems with logic and reason, scientific analysis. Instead of bankers and corporations running the world, let's try it with scientists and engineers, technicians, architects, and builders. And some of these scientists and futurists like Buckminster Fuller and Jacque Fresco have talked about sustainable and humane systems that could solve these problems. I am just the messenger of their work. So if we're dealing with reality and natural law, then it becomes fairly simple to arrive at the solutions we need for sustainability and public health. And the first thing we need to do is get rid of this ridiculous debt imposed on us by the bankers from the money they create out of thin air. Erase all debt because it's fiction. A debt jubilee, as it's been called throughout history. Student debt, household debt, national debt, erase it all because it's not real. We start all over, but not with the same game, or we'll end up right back where we started. And the wealth that was stolen by the bankers when they crashed the economy in 2008, that needs to be returned to the people. Their homes, their retirement savings, returned to the people. Next, dissolve the banks and the corporations, because these are not working in the public interest. And if this sounds implausible or ridiculous, remember that these were the same things the founders of this country wanted: to get rid of the central banks, like our Federal Reserve, and to get out from under the control of corporate power. Next, replace this cutthroat competition model with collaboration, because people working together will further progress at a much quicker pace than hoarding information and working against each other. We need to make everything open source, share information to maximize our technical advancement. That's what science would say. And no more infinite growth economy where the market wants everybody to own one of everything, when it's much more efficient to provide access to things. Then we wouldn't have to make as many of these products and we'd use fewer resources. And next, automate work, get rid of jobs. Go to a 20-hour work week where people can do meaningful work in their communities that directly benefit themselves and their families, instead of going to a job they don't like, that doesn't really benefit them, and in many cases, produces nothing. In fact, we should get rid of all jobs that don't produce anything real. That's what logic and reason would say. And we can end artificial scarcity, which the market system needs to put a price on everything. We can produce an abundance now of what we need using automation. And producing abundance renders the market system obsolete. Also, producing abundance enables us to end the wars, which have mostly been fought over scarcity in the past. Now the wars are just for corporate profits. But with our automation technology, as Bucky Fuller said, selfishness is unnecessary. War is obsolete. Our Department of Defense becomes the Department of Peace. We refuse to fight any more wars, which is what the people in every country would want. Next, a food revolution. Localize organic food production, because the way we do it now, growing food in one place and packaging it with preservatives and shipping it thousands of miles, makes no sense. Not when we can grow organic food locally and solve hunger and be much healthier. And here's a big one. We redesign our system of governance. And this will take an update of the Constitution. No more hierarchy. Decision-making starts at the community level, not by a federal government. And we won't be sending representatives to Washington anymore, where they meet behind closed doors with special interests. This is not necessary, especially with our current communication technology. Science would say representatives can stay at home and conduct meetings online, meetings that are open to everyone, no secrets. A few more clean, renewable energy systems, make it a Manhattan Project type of effort to put these in place as quickly as we can and get off the fossil fuels. Hey, do you realize we could cut our energy consumption in half when people are no longer driving to jobs that don't produce anything? And restoration and preservation of our ecosystems. Let's act like responsible adults and take care of our home. Nurture our environment rather than destroy it for fictional profits. And healthcare for all, of course, we take care of each other, of our neighbors, our communities. When we finally have insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies out of the picture, there are no profits to be made from healthcare. We can get off the synthetic chemicals they shove down our throats, which often make things worse. And we can use natural plant-based medicines and healthy diets. And we can get rid of the stress, which is the biggest killer, the unnecessary stress that our system produces now. When people are worried about losing their home or being able to afford food, it's unnecessary stress. And we get industrial hemp growing everywhere, build processing centers in every region of the country. Because with this one plant, we can make clothes and building materials, hemp plastic, food, medicine, localize all this production. Remember that that's the goal. Localize, not globalize. You can check out more policies on the website where we'll be talking about updating the Constitution, because we can't make these changes that we need to be making now when we have this model of hierarchy and control. And we'll talk about replacing a president with a council that we nominate to oversee the intelligent management of our people and planet. Who would you nominate to head the Department of Peace, of Agriculture, Earth Sciences, Atmospheric Sciences, Clean Water Management, etc.? We'll put our council together in the months ahead, along with our updated Constitution, or maybe we could call it our Manual for Spaceship Earth, as Bucky Fuller called it, and start playing his world peace game, which goes like this. Make the world work for 100% of humanity in the shortest possible time through spontaneous cooperation, without ecological offense or the disadvantage to anyone. That's the game we need to be playing now, not the money game, the world peace game. And on the website, you might see a donate button. It doesn't work on purpose. We don't want you to donate your money. This is the money-free party, for God's sakes. Donate your time. Tell other people about a new system that can provide peace and prosperity for everyone, and how our current system can never do that. And we need this to be a global movement. So if you're watching this in another part of the world, start a money-free party in your country. Or just start by making a Facebook page for your country and see how it grows from there. Let's stop pretending we can just go on playing this old game. It's going to take a new system to turn this ship around, and it's up to us to make that happen.